Hi everyone, excuse me, thank you for joining me. This is Connie with Prairie Paper Crafts. Sorry about my voice, I haven't really talked much today, or if at all, so it's gonna be really kind of off. I do apologize. Anyway, I'm coming on today to do just a project share, and then if you want to stick around toward the end, I will be doing a process of how I put one of these together along with the paper piece of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through these with you real quick, the ones I've made. I've got 5 total. They're for my sister, for her co-workers. So they're just little Gable boxes I put together. This little clothespin, I am not sure if I'm going to be putting a little tag. I think I am. Haven't decided. Anyway, I'll show you how I excuse me, did the roof here, so to speak, made those shingles. This is just a flower. The flowers are from really reasonable ribbon. The leaves are too. They're all from my stash. And then this is the paper piece from Kadoodle Bug Designs. I think it was a previous freebie. It's pumpkin gnome boy. I'm not sure exactly. I just put that. I'll show you how I put this, cut this scallop out, because there's actually a piece of acetate behind here, and you don't have to put that in. I just added it for additional flavor. I see some of my dots ran together, and one set of those does. They're okay, but obviously I don't like them very well, but I'm going to let it go. They're not going to notice. They're just happy to get treats. They love it. I did use liquid pearls around the scallop on this one. And then all of the stamped images are from Jaded Blossom Stamps. I got it last year, I think it was. And then I just put a layer of paper here. And I did the back, and I left the sides plain. Inked all my edges. And then, excuse me, my background papers are all from Echo Park. I can't remember, something fall. I'm not gonna, let's see. Fall is in the air, I believe is the paper stack I used. And then this and the gnome, or the paper pieces, I did pop up. So that's one. I'm gonna get these out of the way. I did another one with the little gnome boy. Did different sentiments. Excuse me, were hard to get to stick. I didn't gauge where the drops were, so I should have left a little bit of space for that with the foam tape, but it'll work. Now these are, the orange are liquid pearls from their actual, so I think these are from Ranger. Yeah, these are actual Ranger brand, which I prefer these much better over the other brand I was using. And then this one on the brown, on the scallop, it has, I believe I put it away already, but those are Nouveau drops, and they're like the iridescent, I forget what they're called, but that's what some of them are going to be liquid pearls, but that's what I used there. And same thing, I just used different papers, but thought that was they're fun to make. Okay, so then this one, again, my stamped image, and then what I did here is, this is an image from Treasure Box Designs. I don't know if it's still even available, to be honest. I have no idea. That's the back again. I'm just using up scraps of my paper wherever I can instead of starting a whole new sheet. Didn't be a big deal. And then, so these little drops here are Nouveau drops, and they're the glitter drops. This is orange soda pop, or orange soda. That's what came here. And then on the pie, I didn't want to cut the pieces that tiny, try to ink them and whatnot, so those are liquid pearls again. And these are Trying to find a color. I don't know if I will. Blinder than a bat. Orange Blossom. Good grief. Not too difficult to find, right? So the iridescent, or the, I forget what they're called, but they really are translucent. They're really see-through, but yet on that brown paper it really shows up nice. When you put them on there, they're very cloudy, and they got quite dark. I was quite happy. And then this is the very first one I made, and I got a hold of my sister and asked if she wanted me to make some for her, if that'd be okay. And she said yeah, so I've then made the rest of them. And this is the one I'll be sharing you how to do the paper piece and the Gable box, and how I did. You can see better here the transparency behind it. Now on this one, again, I used those first, more of the reddish brown drops, and they're okay here. So I don't know what happened. I moved them and didn't let them dry well enough, which is possible. On this scalloped piece, I have bronze liquid pearls, again from Ranger. I love this for brown. You wouldn't think this would come up with that color, but it does. And then on the nose, I don't have this out. I just put them away, I believe, trying to make less of a mess. But hers, I used red paper. I was going to do a red nose. And last night I couldn't sleep, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to put some kind of a, I was going to use the orange soda. And I'm going to on this next one I do. But anyway, I used a Nouveau Drops. It's a pearl. And I don't remember the color. It's kind of, looks kind of yellowish orange in the bottle. I thought, well, I'm going to try it. I put some on paper first, and I really like that because she gives her more of a fall feel. So anyway, I will get started. I want to thank you if you choose not to stick around. Thank you for joining me. Otherwise, hang in there and I will get started on the tutorial for this. Got everything inked. Will show you how I put the gingerbread together and the rest of it. So I'm going to set that up there a little bit so you can see it here. And I'll give you some dimensions and things too. And here you'll be able to see there's her, red nose there. So hoping you can see. Sorry, I'm going to try to stay in frame the best I can, but some days I get carried away. First of all, I'm going to give you the Gable box size I have, and I don't have Design Studio open, so I'm going to get as close as I can. It's going to be, I know only one fit on a 12-inch piece of paper. It's about 10.5 inches wide, and I'm going to try my best to get the best I can do for the height here. Let's say about 6 1/4, however it came out. For example, like this part, let's do it. Excuse my reach through, I'm so sorry. It's easier to do it with this. This piece is 2 3/8 inch high, just from the crease there, and then it's 3 1/4 inches wide. And then for how deep it is, it's 2 inches deep. So it's pretty decent size. My intentions are, because my sister gets one and then I made 4 for the rest of her co-workers, is with the nuggets I'm putting in here, I will wrap them in some fall colored paper, the pattern paper, and then it will show through. I think that'll be really cute. I forgot to mention that earlier. I'm sorry. I get started and then I forget what I'm going to say. So anyway, and as you can see, the hole is cut in there. So I'm going to start with that first, and then I'll go through the paper piece, because that's kind of the see if I can get a hold of this and not lose things. That's really the trickiest part if you want to get a front piece in, if you've not done that, if you want to get that pattern paper on there. So what I did in Design Space for this front piece only. I've already got acetate on there. I took this circle. I basically had to, I think I had to ungroup it for this particular one. Anyway, I managed to get like hid contours and stuff so I could get just this circle piece. And so put that on. Then I measured the size I wanted for my, you know, my mat, so to speak. And I have to go back. This should be 2.5 inches tall by 3.25 inches wide. I apologize. And then I just made a rectangle the size I wanted to mat it, and I do 1/8 inch borders. And then I took that circle and I put it in, and then I aligned it so it was centered, and then I attached it so that circle would cut out. Sounds like a lot of work, but that's what I did. It isn't that bad. And then once you save it, you have it. And the same with this. I took a scalloped circle, okay, and I figured out how big this was. And once you do this shape, you get it, it'll give you an oval. And that same circle I attached in here, I attached and centered on this, and that's how you get the centerpiece there. And then this piece for the back, I just cut manually. So while I've got this here, I'm going to attach this really quick and find my glue. I've been working for a little bit, so I'm hoping it isn't too, oh, look at there, it's not stuck. Sorry, I'm a little bit, when I glue, I have to have it close to me, so I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to, this is a hair off. As you'll see, you can, once you get it on here, you can see it's just a smidgen off. Now I put my acetate on the back of this piece. I don't want to see it and have things get snagged if I put it on the inside, so it just makes it easier for me to do it here. And I'm going to put this on, and be careful when you do this that you don't put glue in the circle where the acetate is. You just want it around. And then you line it up and just pop it on, and it goes together so easy. Then I'm going to put this piece on real quick. You don't have to put a back piece on by any means. It will give it a little bit more support. And if you don't want to put that window, that oval on the front, you can just hide that contour. Excuse me, you can hide that contour and it'll go on perfectly fine. I just thought for a change I would put it in there. Okay, now I'm going to take, trying to find my spatula. I'm going to work on the rough, so in case you don't want to, you want to see how I did that, you won't have to wait for the paper piece. I had a, I don't know if I'm going to say a little bit of a challenge. I had to get the PDF version of that paper piece off to do that, so don't know why that was such a difficult thing for me, but it seemed to have been. I am looking for, I had some little scrap pieces of paper I'd used when I put the lid on, or the top piece on. What I'm doing is just putting it so nothing goes over onto these tabs here. Okay, so that's why I'm putting those there. One of these is shorter than the rest, and I would not recommend that. So I'll give you the dimensions here. These are cut 3.5 inches long and 1/2 inch high. These are the scallop piece from the, I think I say it right, Planin, I'm not sure, school book cartridge. But anything you have like a scallop, you could use a border. I didn't like the one I had, so anything you want to use. But make sure if you're going to alternate them, you need them longer than this piece. So make sure you do the full 3.5 inches. So what I start is I line it up pretty much so it's from this edge, it overlaps the slightest bit. And I'm just having it overlap just a hair over this piece here. When you get it folded, it will not interfere with the how the box goes together or anything, or how the Gable box goes together. And do not put glue. This is the first bottom layer only. Don't put glue on the scallops, because otherwise if you do, it's going to attach to this and you don't want that. So I had excuse me again, tweezers. And again, it's going to just overlap the slightest bit here. And that seems to work the best for staggering them. And then I have just maybe a 1/16 of an inch in there that shows, so it's just barely going over the edge. And so the next one, I work from the left edge, and you see I stagger them, and I just have maybe a 1/16 of an inch or so that's going to be above. Now this one I put glue all the way to the bottom, as you can see there. But when I put it on, from the bottom of this scallop, from where this comes up on this one, so where you're staggering, I only leave about a 1/16 of an inch. And don't worry about the overhang on the sides. We will deal with that in a moment. Okay, and then this one, we're going to start from the right side again. Just there. And again, about the same distance from the tip of this top piece to the bottom of this scallop. Try to get them as straight as you can. One of them I didn't have too straight. Okay, and then this one is going to go right up to the crease there. And this is my shorter one, so it might be, but I would suggest starting from the left end, and it'll be longer overhang, but again, because I have this top piece is shorter, you won't see it that way. Okay, so pull these apart, or pull them away, and I'm looking for, I should have had looking for one more, go with that. Just do, flip it over, okay, and try to avoid cutting the handle part. I just come from behind. If you need to apply a little more glue, you can. And I just cut along this piece there. And on the other side, I work from the bottom up. Again, just folded it down. And there you have it. Get this chunk out of the way. So then I come back in. This is what I was looking for. I just come back and re-ink my edges. Not quite the exact same color I used for the others, but it works. And there you have it. You may have a simpler way. That's great. I think you could manage to slice everything in Design Space. I don't go that far. Sorry, but I do what I know works for me. And it's just happy the scallops could be cut. So, okay. Gonna leave. Let me finish the box. I'm gonna first put my my drops on, because then they can dry. And before I do that, I'm gonna put it together. Did not mention, but be sure you burnish all your folds really well. Your box will just go together so much nicer. And you can use double-sided tape too. I just quite often use my liquid glue because I don't like my cheap ATG gun very well. I don't know where my bone folder is. I'm not going to try to get it out right now. Okay, now I'm sure you know how to do this, but this piece, the front flap, hold out, and then the back flap goes in first. So you got your back flap. Can't get it to go in. Back flap, two side flaps, and they just kind of lay there. And then the front flap goes in. Now what I do, because I want a much sturdier little box, get this out of the way, I cut a piece that's about, I'm not good at eighths, but it'd be between 1 7/8 and 2 inches long. No, I have this backwards. It's about a 1/16 inch short of 3 inches long. Yep. Width, excuse me, so what, 2 and 16 inches. And that's just so it has just a tiny bit of wiggle room. And then same with this, it'll be 1 and 16 inch wide. If it's a little bit smaller, you know, if you do that 1 7/8 and 2 7/8, it's fine. You really, when you stabilize the bottom of the box, it just gives it so much more, it's very much more sturdy. So then I just kind of press it in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. So then it just put these two together. And I'm going to put this drops on because these will dry fairly quickly. It's not humid right now, so, and I just go all the way around. You can miss pieces of it on the left side and somewhat on the bottom corner, but I'm not going to gauge where that, is. So sorry, I forget to, I'm not good at talking and working. I just have not developed that great talent. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take liquid pearls, and because this side is going to be all covered, I'm going to just put them, doing it just a tiny bit different, but I'm going to put them in this corner and this corner. And try to keep it somewhat flat until we get done. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to show you the paper piece. Got everything done here. I do the easy things first. Did emboss this. This one's a little bit bigger, so I embossed it. On the gnomes I didn't because they're so small, so I just left that. And I didn't give sizes just because you can decide how big or small if you want them to be a little bit taller. It's completely up to you. So, well, shoot. Oh, why this doesn't want to stick for me today. I have a fun fall layout to share with you soon. It's done. I just have to get it filmed. Trying to get some scrapbook layouts done, and I keep getting sidetracked, so to speak. Find other things that I want to work on. So, yeah, and I should be working on some Christmas cards, and I rush. Got a whole month of December to worry about those. I'm putting the leaves a little bit different. Can't excuse my reach. Okay, this is where I had to look, because on the photo I couldn't figure out this arm, and still not happy with the one on there, but I think I know how I would do it. Sorry if I'm on a camera a little bit. I'm trying to watch that, and it was this arm that I was having struggle with, that I couldn't figure out where it went. So, okay. I put the head at a little bit of an angle. This is the part that goes in her foot, and her foot, the rounder, the fatter part, so to speak, the wider part, excuse me, goes at the top. But that just goes right in there. Okay, let's say, where did her nose go? I'm going to do the face first, easier for me. I put her nose kind of down a ways. And then her eyes, I have the teardrop, so that more angled part going to the outside. If that makes sense, I think you might see it. You don't see it as much on the much smaller pieces. You would see it much more pronounced if you did a bigger piece. You know, if you're all your pieces were bigger, you'd see it. I gotta get this on the right side to work with it. Okay, and then I'm going to tip everything over, why not? This is my black pan pastels. Just do her eyes quick. Try to do it so I don't have to erase a bunch. So I hope everybody is doing well. It's just been really crazy around here. The virus has picked up drastically, so I've been staying in so much. I just cannot risk getting sick, for one thing. I don't relish a hospital stay. That's for sure. You can fast forward through this, you know, it's just, I can do one side and I cannot do the other. I don't know what I do. Crazy. Just getting my chalk here. Gingerbreads I tend to put even more blush or chalk on the cheeks than normal. I got a new pom-pom. I think I need to get a different size one, to be honest with you. This just not been working very well lately. Okay. Having a lot of problems controlling things lately with my fingers, so I have to be kind of careful what I'm doing here. And if I can't have my head right on top of what I'm working on, I can't see anything either. So I do ink the white. This was with the, oh, that's right. I forget. I know that the eyebrows don't show on this. This is Marina Mist from Stampin' Up. And I will put this piece on. And she'll get a piece on her hand. These are 2 different sizes, so you might want to think about that when you're putting them on. The bigger one goes on the foot, the littler one goes on the hand, obviously. Excuse my voice, wow. Okay, so what I do for this is I kind of set this, let me get this arm piece on first. And I know this is going the right direction because when I took it off the mat, I put a little pencil mark on the back so I knew which side was which, because I knew I'd have a problem when I went to put it together. So if you wonder, I did see that. Okay, and I'm just kind of looking here. This arm, this time I'm doing set a little different, and I'm just kind of putting this here because I'm not sure exactly. That foot is just, leave that for now. But I want the arm to be a little bit more at an angle, not straight up and down. I want it to be a little bit more curved. To me, this arm is a little bit too long. So what I do is I put it under her cheek back here as best I can. And it just doesn't, I don't know, I don't like it that way, but it is what it is. When it all gets put together, it's fine. So, okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue along here, a little bit on the back, and I'll come come back and put some glue on her hand too. And I'll just put a little bit on the bottom. We'll hold it. Okay. And then got her paw there. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here, just kind of hold it so it doesn't take a chance of flopping too much. Okay, this one came together much better, I think, than the first one, so much happier with this one. Now, I'm going to flip it over and just put a little bit of glue on the pumpkin so I kind of know. There, I'll do a little bit of highlighting. And then I do, like I said, pop these up. So I'll put some I had some ink or chalk on there. I will put some foam adhesive on the back, and then I will come back and do her nose when I get her popped on, because I don't want the Nouveau drops to be wet when I try to put those on. I really, after I look at this and I look at the other one, I like the orange nose. And I don't know what made me think to do that. I just, like I said, it just kind of hit me, and me and those pins. I don't know, like I said, I couldn't sleep last night, and something just wasn't right about this, and because the patterns actually got it brown, and I don't like that. I know that sounds strange, but when I do gingerbreads, I like their noses red. And I thought, well, you know, a lot of times you put glitter on the nose in red, so let's try orange, and if it doesn't work, figure out how to take it off, because it's stuck pretty good, and start again. So I do strange things, what can I say? That's where the creative freedom comes in, though, to be able to do that. You don't have to follow what the pattern shows, which is nice. Make it your own. And you probably know by now I put a lot of foam tape on. Scissors in my way. This actually will have the least of any of them, but it's fine. So, okay. Now I will bring this in. I'm going to bring my fabric tack in. This is Fabric Fix, but it all works. Excuse my reach again. It all works pretty much the same. It's good. I'm just trying to get the stem down a little bit more. If you don't leave part of the stem on the flowers, they start to unravel. The stamens in the center don't stay in, and so sometimes I have a little bit of a problem getting these to stick, but this glue, once it finally adheres, because it's fairly quick drying, oh shoot, but yet not, if that makes any sense. And I don't know if you caught that, I already got my fingers in the liquid pearls, but they're not dry, but they're hard, so they didn't smush down or anything. I'm just kind of holding this down a little bit so I can get a grip. And the fabric tack, once it gets, this one I have to come back and redo, obviously. That one was not dry. But this glue, once it's stuck, it'll stay down well. So I'm going to just hold it a moment or two longer. Shouldn't have said the liquid pearls are dry. The brown ones are. I'm going to fix that quick, or I'll forget and I'll be really mad. Okay. This does not happen this way when I'm not on video camera, so thank goodness it's on an orange piece, so you won't see it so much. Okay. Well, you might, but you'll just think it's part of the paper. They don't look at things that close. I got the nicest thank you from one of them. I just, earlier this summer, I think it was, I don't remember exactly, but I was just amazed that someone took the time to mail me a thank you. That was really awesome. Okay, just putting glue on my piece here. Pop her on. Hold her a little bit so she stays put. I had a little paper clip or clothespin for her too, this one, but I see I probably put it on the floor. Oh, there it is. It was hiding behind the liquid pearls. These little boogers are hard to get closed. They don't open very far. Wow. Okay. You got that. I have this. I'm going to put some just trying to think. I'm going to put a little bit of foam tape on the back. I don't put it on the whole thing just because it doesn't need to be on the part sticking out. We'll just put that. I am going to try to cut a little piece of this out. Make room for the dots. So redo this. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to have a terrible time getting it put over that. And get it to work a little better. It just scrunched on some of the liquid pearls, but that's okay. And then I gotta put the lid on my glue or I have a mess. Can't get it on, can't get it off. Oh, I'm telling you. I'm going to flip this over quick because I don't want to risk anything on the back of my paper. Okay. Oops, sorry. I forget I'm shaking the table and the tripod. Okay. This may show up a little bit more red because it's glittered. But in real life, and I think when it dries, it will be a lot more orange than it looks right now. And this kind of goes on like some of the other drops, some of the brown ones I used, where it goes on kind of a milky color and then it dries much darker. So trying to get this one. I'm gonna leave it or I'll have a mess. But that is my finished box. So thank you all for joining me. Have an awesome day, everybody. Take care.